This is probably your best friend. It wakes you up, tells you what's happening in the world, and connects you with the people you love. I'm no different. You could almost call it our 21st century soulmate. But what if this soulmate was actually a rather obsessive stalker, watching and recording everything you do? A stalker who, while you're asleep, checks your heart rate, remembers that you searched for early signs of hair loss last night, and counts how many times you visited your ex's Instagram profile. Not funny, you say? Well, it's true. Somewhere on the servers of Google and Facebook, there lives a digital ghost that knows you better than you know yourself. And in 2013, a man named Edward Snowden risked his life to warn us that the state was kidnapping and interrogating that very ghost. But a decade later, the real problem has become far more insidious. Now it's the corporations that are creating these ghosts in the first place, only to sell them off at auction. Today we'll start with Snowden's warning, break down the ridiculously clever mechanics of this digital prison, and most importantly, borrow a big-picture idea from an ancient philosopher to share a concrete escape plan to reclaim our digital sovereignty. First, let's remember a fact we've conveniently forgotten. In 2013, Edward Snowden revealed that the NSA was collecting all of our data through a system called PRISM. Under the pretext of security, they treated the entire human race as potential suspects. Now, the most amusing part of this whole affair is that the person who exposed all these secrets wasn't some James Bond-esque super spy. He was just a system administrator. You know, the same job title as the guy you call and passive-aggressively tap on the shoulder when your office computer breaks. The fact that the most sensitive secrets of the world's most powerful empire rested in the hands of a regular IT guy is, in itself, the greatest black comedy of the 21st century. What he exposed was not simple spying. It was a digital version of the perfect prison imagined by the 18th century philosopher Jeremy Bentham, the panopticon. The invisible gaze becomes the most perfect tool of control. Snowden exposed the reality of this massive surveillance system and warned us, whatever you're doing, you're being watched and recorded. After his revelation, we were outraged. It seemed like things were about to change. At least, that's what we wanted to believe. But the real tragedy began after that. While we were busy watching Big Brother, the government, the friendly brothers, the corporations, built a far more perfect panopticon. If the NSA stole our data, these companies tricked us into voluntarily giving it all away. The most perfect prison is one where the inmates don't even know they're in a prison. And we are now living inside of it and even paying an entrance fee. It's called a monthly subscription. Snowden warned us about the wolf at the door, but we ended up willingly inviting the foxes in sheep's clothing into our homes. So how does this prison work? They don't threaten us. Instead, they offer us sweet candy, convenience, personalized recommendations, free services. And to get that candy, we gladly exchange our daily lives for data. Where I go, what I buy, who I talk to, what I desire. None of this information is mine anymore. It becomes a corporate asset, used to create a digital avatar that knows me better than I know myself. When I'm not sure what I like, the YouTube algorithm already has the answer. Oh, you feel like watching cat videos at 11 p.m. And it's terrifyingly accurate. Bentham's panopticon needs a serious update. The surveillance tools of the modern panopticon aren't CCTV cameras. They're the like button, infinite scroll, and the little red notification dot. The like button is a two-way mirror where we report what we obey. Infinite scroll is a perfect treadmill that makes us monitor ourselves until we collapse from exhaustion. And that little red dot, it's the sound of the guard knocking on your cell door, whispering, "Are you still there? Still thinking of me?" We can't resist this perfect design. No, we don't even think of resisting. Because the prison is just so cozy. This is the high-tech version of the cave Plato described 2,400 years ago, but with one crucial difference. The ancient prisoners all watched the same low-res shadows. We, however, get to watch personalized 4K HDR shadows. The videos YouTube recommends, the ads Instagram shows us, the movies Netflix suggests, all of it seems to exist to please us. But in reality, it's not satisfying our desires. It's designing and manipulating them. It's just like how we train our pets with treats to sit and shake. The algorithm trains us with dopamine treats to perform certain behaviors. Watch longer, click more. We love these high-definition shadows so much that we have no desire to turn our heads and look at the blinding, inconvenient truth of the world outside the cave. Why would you watch reality when you have 4K? Snowden escaped the cave and shouted to us, "Those are just shadows." But most of us just called him a crazy person. So what can we do? If the cave is too cozy to leave, shouldn't we at least fight back against the shadow puppeteers who are controlling the show? This is the beginning of the real escape plan Snowden gave us. We may not be able to tear down the whole system, but we can start a digital guerrilla war to reclaim our digital sovereignty within it. From this moment on, we begin the three-step guerrilla tactics to reclaim our digital sovereignty from the digital prison. Step 1. Information blackout, or cleaning your cell. Your smartphone is collecting vast amounts of information without your explicit permission. Go into your settings right now, turn off location tracking, microphone, and camera access for apps that don't need it. Limit ad ID tracking. This is the most basic form of defense, like sealing every crack and hole in your cell wall through which the guard can peer. The less they know about you, the less power their shadows have over you. Step 2. Switching allegiances, or defection. We are not obligated to use the services of companies that make money by spying on us. Tools that prioritize your privacy already exist. DuckDuckGo, which doesn't store your search history. The Messenger Signal, which encrypts all your conversations. The Brave browser, which automatically blocks ads and trackers. Using these tools is like escaping the panopticon and moving to a new city where there are no guard towers. Sure, it might feel a little strange at first, but freedom always comes with the small price of inconvenience. Step 3. Sabotaging the algorithm, or simply sabotage. Make yourself unpredictable. Don't passively accept the recommendation feed. Consciously search for the information you truly want. Occasionally consume content that is completely out of line with your tastes to confuse the algorithm. Feed your digital ghost false information to make it fat and stupid. This is the act of doubting the shadows on the cave wall and deliberately casting weird shadows of your own to confuse the puppeteers. This small act of rebellion is the most enjoyable training for your mental freedom. These methods might sound like a perfect solution, but here we must be honest about the price of this choice. Privacy is not free. It demands a tax of inconvenience and isolation. You might have to leave the social networks all your friends are on. You might have to give up the convenience of perfect recommendations for products you'd love. Freedom is more expensive than you think. And that's why some people thought individual effort is not enough. We need to build a whole new internet, one where we can enjoy convenience and be free. A system where surveillance is impossible by design. But who would build this new internet? Who would pay for it, and who would set the rules? In the end, even the fight for freedom might be impossible without someone's design and someone's capital. Ultimately, what Snowden left us with is not despair, but a choice. Will we live as obedient inmates in a digital prison, slaves to convenience? Or will we become free guerrillas who defend our digital sovereignty, even if it costs us a little comfort? And looking further, who really decides what tools we use and what kind of future we will live in? There are kingmakers who create reality by betting money on the future. They are the venture capitalists. In our next video, Software is Eating the World, the architects of Silicon Valley, Mark Andreessen, we will investigate the invisible hands that shape our future and their dangerous and seductive philosophy. What do you think about this fight? If you have your own digital guerrilla tactics, share them in the comments. And if you want to join this debate for freedom, click the screen now.